We'd get hate mail if I didn't ask about the original origin story for your most beloved character, Dismas Hardy. Also, where did that great name first come to you?
The first thing you have to know is you can't say that Hardy was a soldier. He was a Marine. And if you want to talk about getting a lot of emails, make that mistake sometime. Anyway, what happened with Hardy? This is all true. All of this is not fiction. Hardy, the name Dismas, because as I said, I was a good Catholic. It was a good idea, I thought, a great name to have him be Dismas, because that name resonates deeply for a certain type of person. And Dismas is also the patron saint of thieves and murderers. You know, he's the good thief on the cross next to Jesus. And it's a very powerful image just by itself. Then we also have Hardy, clearly come from the Hardy Boys. And even overtly in, I think, The Mercy Rule, one of my books, I say that Dismas's parents, Tom and whoever the other Hardy boy was, Frank, anyway, and their girlfriend were actually married and had Dismas Hardy. So, I mean, he is in the pack of the, exactly, in fact, in the pack of what this guy should have been all along, you know. And of course, he was a Marine, he was an attorney, he was everything you can think of. Does this sound like anybody you know? You know, this is kind of what I went through. I changed so many jobs and everything else. But when we meet Hardy, he's already had a lot of interesting, not so good things happen to him. And I think one of the things that I drew upon is, you know, a lot of interesting things that happened to me as well. And I said, you know, you might as well tap that and make things a little heavier, a little more serious, and leaven it by being funny.
The dialogue from book one between Dismas and his cohorts has just always been so entertaining. How do you first hear that in your head when the conversations are happening as it's going down on paper?
I am super blessed with a couple of friends who I've mentioned already in this thing. But one of the things that really carries through in all of my friendships is I tend to be a little bit of a wise guy, and my my friends are the ones who get it and are back at me as a bit of a wise guy. And they're pretty smart people and they're pretty fun to be around. And I knew that if I was going to try to write Hardy and have him have a friend or a wife or anybody else, you got to have somebody who's, you know, real and funny and super sarcastic. You know, my friend Al Giannini says, dry, snide, and snotty. You know, if that's not it, you're doing something wrong. So it wasn't like an editor told me this. I mean, the thing that felt real to me was the dialogue that started coming out with this voice of me being a bit more of a wise guy than I am in real life, which I don't know if this will come through in my interview here, but I'm a little bit of a, non-conforming perhaps type.
Turning to those cohorts like Abe Glitsky and David Freeman, how much fun do you have populating the pages with all these great supporting cast characters?
Well, I knew that Hardy couldn't be alone. You know, it's tough to write good dialogue if there's only one person talking. And so right from the very first, I had no idea what was going to happen, but I was in Dead Irish, and I go to Candlestick Park in those days to see the Giants playing, and there is Abe Glitsky fully formed. He's got the name Abe Glitsky. He's half black and half Jewish. He's got scars through his lips. He's got Abe Glitsky, and he just literally walked out to, this was kind of like the Rasputin's revenge moment, but it wasn't as all encompassing. But all of a sudden, here's Glitsky, and boom, he was Hardy's buddy when they were both cops, and boom, they, you know, and he just came alive. There's no other way to look at it. I mean, he just came alive to me, and he stayed, and he's still alive, thank God.
Yeah.
But you know, David Freeman is very similar. Hardy was this is a couple of books along, but Hardy was in the jail interviewing his client, you know, and all of a sudden, this guy is a defense attorney, just a freewheeling crazy man, you know, comes in and just like reads him the riot act, and, you know, says you're going to turn over the conviction and turn over the appeal and everything is going to go to hell. You can't talk to my client without my permission, blah, blah, blah. I'm going, who the hell is this guy? He just took over. You know, and Hardy walks out rather chagrined and kind of feeling beaten down. And never did it occur to me that Freeman would become Freeman. At the point, he was just a guy in this scene who was kind of the way he was. And this is what I find fascinating about all of these books. These characters tend to be alive, and they tell you, you're not cutting me out of this book. You're not letting me not have a place. I need to be in this book because X, Y, Z.
Fascinating.
Sure enough, that's what happens. And you asked a question earlier about naming things and, names of characters. The names of characters, they just walk up to me and say, hi. Hi, I'm Abe Blitzky. Hi, I'm David Freeman. I mean, I don't know. I know guys look in the phone book. I'm tempted to. If I have, like a Filipino name, I might decide I'm going to find a better name than the one I'm thinking of in my brain. Or other, ethnicities or things like that. I try to make sure that I've got the right name for the right person. But most of the time, by far the majority of the time, it's just the guy walks up or the woman walks up and says, hi, here I am.